Oh, goodness gracious. Were you scared for the first few minutes of the game? A lot of people were. At least it wasn't 8 overtimes. Good grief. We're talking about playoffs. We talking playoffs? We are talking playoffs on the Food City Locker Room, presented by Garza Law. This is the Players Show. We could finally say it. Playoffs? We're talking playoffs.
Can we smile and just be happy?
I am happy. I'm not really sure what's going on around here.
You look nice.
Thank you so much. This is my Jayson Swain swag approach without the hoodie hanging out the back. For the first few minutes of the game, it was a little scary, but then Tennessee comes on, and we are talking playoffs.
We're talking playoffs. We feel good about it. This is where we wanted to be. It was scary for the first couple plays, but I think our guys bounced back. I think we just had to settle in. I mean, it was tough to start. When you get that big play to start the game, it's kind of tough to settle in, but guys bounced back really strong.
It was scary because Vanderbilt, they beat you by getting a lead. They drain the clock. They're really good at running the football, staying ahead of schedule. They had a lot of third down shorts, but they run the football very, very well. And that's what you didn't want versus Vanderbilt. You wanted to get a lead on them early to make them have to pass. And we saw how difficult it was for them when Tennessee got that lead. But Tennessee resilient. 11 for 15 on third downs. Nico was great. Explosive plays on offense really made it easy for Tennessee to come back.
No, it wasn't just that play. And I know you're on the sideline down there working Vol Network. What are you thinking when dude goes running past you?
Did you try to trip him?
I thought about it.
Yeah, Rice, Alabama. Did you jump out there?
I thought about it.
Dickie
but
Bagel?
One thing I noticed was the kickoff coverage. Most of the time, Tuberville, he knocks that thing out of the back of the end zone.
Okay.
And I think we get so used to that. I don't think our guys were ready to actually cover the kick. And then when the returner cut to the left, it's like 2 or 3 guys on that whole side of the football field. The hole was wide open. He was not touched at all.
So let's move all past that at the start. Tennessee goes on a big run. They play like Tennessee can. And that's the Tennessee team you've been kind of seeing sporadically a little bit.
This is what we've been waiting on. We've been waiting on big plays. We've been waiting on a receiver to step up. Dante Thornton stepped up big time yesterday. I think you got to see him truly go in. You got to see him make some plays. You got to see his speed. You got to see it all. And I think that's what we need. You have to have big plays. You have to have splash plays. And Dylan Sampson also ran for over 150 yards, which is nice as well.
Brew McCoy did not go in the game. He was doubtful to start, didn't participate in warm-ups, had a lower extremity injury, we'll say that. But you had a Dante Thornton, you had a Chris Browswell on one side and the other.
How about Mike Matthews?
And they didn't drop the ball. They made plays. And then Mike Matthews goes in, he blocked well, had a touchdown. You had a bunch of explosive plays without Brew McCoy. What does that mean? I don't know, but the team was able to find big plays without their leader.
The defense did what we always expect this defense to do. By the way, there goes Dante Thornton. And once again, so glad to see him having the success because I know it was a transition over. He underachieved at Oregon, and then he got to Tennessee, and you keep waiting on this potential, and now all of a sudden, he's your big play threat.
Dante's been very good. I mean, I think he's taking advantage of his opportunities. Yesterday was a big game for him. We needed that, and kind of you saw him stretch the field like we've been waiting on. And now we got 3 weeks off to kind of see what's going next. So look for everybody to be healthy. Look for us to kind of just get going again and just kind of relax and make sure everybody's good to go in 3 weeks.
Yeah, Dante Thornton has been your most consistent, explosive, big play guy. And using him the correct way is important. That is throwing the ball to him when he's on the run, going towards the end zone. You saw what he was able to do versus Oklahoma.
He loves the post.
Post, slants, verticals. We saw that at Mississippi State. We used him to, his strength yesterday.
So as we continue to watch this game, we could talk forever about it, but Tennessee did what they were supposed to do. 36-23 was looked a little closer than it kind of was before the late touchdown. College football is this playoff. So many people that said, pundits said, oh, it's going to ruin college football. Are you kidding me? This has made this the most interesting year of college football we have seen in years.
It's been awesome. We talked about it before the show. I mean, there's so many different scenarios and so many different things that can happen. Yeah, I'm just happy we don't have to play this week and we can sit back and kind of just let it all shake out for what it's going to be.
Yeah, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, on one hand, you could say this has been the best season ever. So many dramatic games, endings. The other way you look at it and say, hey, there's going to be some teams in here that they're not going to have a chance to win a championship.
Here's the latest AP poll. Okay, so Oregon and Texas. Texas got the win over A&M. Oregon kept on doing Oregon. Ohio State did Ohio State. And now to be Penn State and Oregon playing for the Big Ten championship. Notre Dame's kind of hanging out there. They're done. Georgia has their shot at Texas this week. Tennessee gets to just sit there as Ohio State does. And so there's a lot of, until you get to Tuesday night, this is just a bunch of people talking. You look at the SEC rankings there. But there are so many people that look at it and say Tennessee and Ohio State is a real possibility in a first-round game.
It is a real possibility. I just hope the possibility is in Neyland as opposed to going there. I mean,
Where you're 7-0.
Yeah, so I think that's huge, right? And I think if we can get that and host a game, I just think that counts for a lot playing here.
If we play Ohio State, make sure everybody put the flags up. Keep the flags up. We don't want any
Why
trouble.
does everybody did that everywhere? They
stop.
did that at NC State, North Carolina.
It's trash. Trash.
Did you ever do that?
Chris Brown did.
Did you really?
06
When
Georgia.
did you do it?
He was down there.
06, actually I did it twice. LSU too. All right,
You planted flags?
when you go back to Louisiana and you got to do some stuff.
I was thinking at home, I was like, did Chris Brown do that? Because Georgia did it to us in 05.
They did.
And we talked about how that bothered us and how we
just
wanted
got
payback.
good.
Got to put my head down and just shake it.
And Chris clipped the hedges too. I'm snitching on you.
So,
Dry snitching.
so let's look at the playoff in this sense, and let's get past Chris and all of his issues that he had. The importance of playing home. It's because Ohio State lost to Michigan, Tennessee lost to Arkansas. I mean, you can look at the wins and losses and compare them and say, do you flip a coin on that? How do you look at that when you're the playoff selection committee?
It's tough. I mean, it's tough for us because a lot of the people on the playoffs committee are from the Big Ten, right? So for whatever reason, we've seen some bias with Ward Manuel.
Well, I look at Ohio State's wins. I mean, they do have better wins than Tennessee. They beat Indiana. They beat Penn State. But they just lost to a team who they had a 21-point advantage over.
In Week 12.
Well, yeah, I mean, they were favored 21 points in Week 12. And usually you get dinged if you lose late. Tennessee lost early in the season and has won every game except for Georgia, who has the toughest schedule in the country and probably has the best chance of winning a championship than Oregon. So where do they look?
Where does Georgia, if Georgia loses to Texas and gets a third loss, where are they?
Georgia's in regardless. I mean, obviously.
Are they?
Yeah. I think Georgia's in 100% regardless, win or lose, unless they just get blown out by Texas. But I think Georgia's in 100% no matter what happens.
Let's talk about, hang on, let's take a break, but I'll talk about it when we come back, because if you have a situation where Georgia loses the SEC championship and then it costs them a playoff spot, are there some commissioners and presidents that would then say, you know what, scratch the championship game? Just scratch it. That could cost us. We'll talk about it. Swain's already shaking his head over here. We'll talk about that when we come back on the Food City Locker Room, and it is presented by Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop,
where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher
is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
At Glass Doctor, our trained specialists are experts at fixing foggy and cracked glass.
Looks great.
You're all set.
What we can't fix is your view.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint. Oh, yeah.
I was coming home and a lady hit me head on. It totaled my car. It fractured my right heel and it bruised me up really badly. The Garza Law firm, they were very compassionate, but yet they were very detailed. They didn't let me down. They never stopped fighting. It helped me regain confidence in law firms. I would definitely recommend the Garza Law firm.
The Garza Law firm. Let us help.
was the star around here until Glass Doctor installed this perfect shower enclosure. Now they look at me like, well, there you go.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your pains. Oh, yeah.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Food City, NPG Brain and Concussion, Knoxville Smiles, Glass Doctor, and Garza Law.
So we were just sitting here talking about, if you're a Tennessee fan, what do you want this weekend? And I know you guys, well, Swain has said, I ain't cheering for anybody. I'm just pulling for us to play the best we can. Okay, but you're sitting at home, Georgia and Texas. I think if you're Tennessee, you want Texas to win so that Georgia has a third loss, because you're probably going to have 3 SEC teams in the playoff, right?
I think, yeah, Georgia's in. I mean,
is it Texas, Georgia, and
Texas.
Tennessee?
That's it. Yep.
So if Georgia wins and Georgia has 2 losses and Texas has 2 losses and Tennessee has 2 losses, Tennessee didn't play in the championship game, Tennessee goes on the road, I think you're on the road. I think you need Texas to win.
I think we need Texas to win too. That's the best case scenario for us.
Yeah, I mean, you want Georgia with 3 losses for sure. So hook 'em horns.
You are actually going to cheer for, are you going to cheer for Texas?
No, I'm not going to cheer for Texas.
Are you kidding me?
Because it's not going to do any good for me to cheer. Me cheering has no impact on the game.
Does it?
So I'm not going to cheer.
Who are you pulling for?
Texas.
Texas, but I'm not going to cheer.
Okay. All right, Big Ten championship game, Penn State and Oregon. I would think you want Oregon to win. You want to muddy the waters because I want Tennessee to have a home game.
That's it.
Yeah.
You want Tennessee to have a home game.
That's
so
it.
whatever has to happen for Tennessee to be able to host,
make it happen.
You want that.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you want. Can this Tennessee team win a national championship?
Yes. I mean, I think hosting a game here is huge to kind of get momentum. And then you kind of just, it's a one-game series, but I think Nico's starting to play a lot better. I think our receivers are coming along. I think our offensive line's come along. Defense, obviously, we know what they can do, but it's just this is what we've been waiting on, obviously, and I think all you can ask for is just to go and play ball.
Can you? Yeah. I mean, I think Tennessee can play with any team in the country. Tennessee needs to continue to play better, needs to have more offensive explosive plays. We saw that yesterday versus Vanderbilt. Must continue that. Must reduce the penalties for sure, but can Tennessee do it? Absolutely. Defense travels, running game travels.
I feel like we're healthy. You'd love to have Keenan Peely, obviously,
need to get
but
healthy.
that was in the past.
Need to get healthy. Guys got pretty banged up in this Vanderbilt game, so like Chris said, having a time off is going to be important for this group.
But this is what you guys were saying the last couple of weeks, and a lot of people did, not just you guys, but I mean, it would be an advantage to not have to go to Atlanta this weekend. It's a bigger advantage to be home watching.
Be home watching. You won. You took care of business. Everybody can get healthy. That's all we can ask for. I mean, obviously, again, if you're a one-loss team and an undefeated team going to Atlanta, it's a different story. But I'm good right where we are. We can sit back and literally we have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, you have a couple guys with some hamstrings. You need those extra weeks because it takes time for those things to heal up. So I'm glad that we're home.
All right, so Jackson Ross is in, and we've had a wonderful time just visiting with him before the show started, and we were talking about being home or away, and of course Jackson's the one that's so confused he doesn't know which leg to punt with, but he just started playing American football 2 years ago. So here's the question we were talking about. If you go on the road to, say, Columbus, and it's -10, how does the ball feel coming off the foot?
Yeah, it definitely hurts a little bit more than when it's a bit hotter in Knoxville. I know got a few friends up at Penn State and stuff like that, and they're always saying that I'm weak when I say it hurts down here because it's always colder up there. So it definitely does hurt a little bit, but I'll push through it.
You know, Jackson, right foot, left foot, what do you prefer? Is it just, you're just trying to punt the ball to the best spot you can get it to?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a right footer. You probably can tell that by now. I think a few people questioned that last year at the start, but I definitely am right-footed. It's good that I can go left and sort of change up protections and things like that, though.
Okay, one more question before we turn you loose with Swain. You've not had a punt blocked yet. So,
why do you do this?
It's like when I called that Tennessee baseball game and I said, hey, there's no hits. Wonder when we're supposed to talk about that. 2-run home run, they lost. Okay, so in all seriousness, would you know how to tackle the dude?
Know how and want to are two
No
different
comment
things.
right now, but I do work on it a little bit at practice, so I hopefully we'll never have to do it anymore.
We should work on it right now. We should let you tackle Mark. Let you tackle Mark, yeah.
Yeah, this is when we need Austin Price out here. He's a good tackling dummy. Okay, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll send Swain over there. I'm anxious to see what questions he comes up with next on the Food City Locker Room presented by Garza Law.
The Locker Room is brought to you by Food City, Exterior Home Solutions, D1 Training, Lakewood Capital Group, Ted Russell Ford, and Garza Law.
Attention shoppers, don't forget to ask our certified butchers for great recipe tips.
This is an authentic butcher shop.
Where meat is hand-cut in-store, beef is ground fresh daily, and expert advice from a certified butcher
Is always free of charge.
Free advice? That's what I call value. The quality I crave, the value I count on.
Nobody does food like Food City.
I see Marco's role in the community as somebody that people can look up to.
Marcos Garza is very thoughtful. He pays attention to the needs of the people in the community.
He's somebody that's very unselfish, somebody that's going to always be there.
Marcos Garza will work as hard as he can to get the best results for you.
In the future, no matter where I'm playing, no matter what the team I'm playing for, I'll always be on Garza's team.
The Garza Law Firm is Mama ZZ approved.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Come on, we got a roof to replace.
Let's go, baby.
Let's
go. Hey, Sterl, you ready to go to the top?
Man, I can't believe you guys been doing this for 25 years. Oh, baby.
Now this is what I call a rooftop party.
We have 25 years experience in roofing and exterior renovations, and we're backed by the best.
Are you ready to get your rooftop party started? Give us a call, 865-524-5888.
Knoxville Smiles depend on us to make your smile better. Knoxville Smiles, are you happy with your smile today? Knoxville Smiles, we're all about smiles.
Hey Lance, what makes you smile?
Pancake blocks.
What's up, guys? It's Devin Driscoll, owner of D1 Sports Training. We know in 2024, convenience is king, so we have locations not just in Hardin Valley, but now one in Maryville, in Farragut, and in Morristown, with more soon to come. So keep an eye out. We want to bring D1 Sports Training to everyone in East Tennessee.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jody Griffin. I'm a dentist here in Knoxville, Tennessee. In 22, I had a wakeboard tower hit me on the head and give me a concussion. In my office, I show x-rays to my patients so they can see their teeth. I needed somebody to do the same thing for my brain, so I went to MPG. They did an EEG of my brain, and they were able to show me the activity of my brain and give me a diagnosis and a treatment plan. So I choose MPG because brains is what they do, and that's all they do.
Time now for the Food City Player's Perspective. A look inside the locker room with the Vols.
All right, time now for the player perspective, brought to you by Food City. And Chris, a basic question is, do you remember your first ever football game?
St. Rose, Louisiana, long time ago. But I think our guest tonight is going to have a little different story about his first game. We'll toss it over to Jason. Jason?
Yeah, your first game was last year versus Virginia. Kind of walk us through your emotions, what happened in that game, how were you able to kind of bounce back after not the best start, but walk us through the emotions of that first game wearing the Power T.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I mean, big build-up. I was looking forward to it. Honestly, wasn't too nervous. Obviously, come out, shanked a few. Heard the Knoxville faithful booing me a little bit. And I thought, damn, probably time to go back to Australia.
I don't think they were booing. I think they were like grunting. I think they were like, ugh.
Nah, they were booing.
Okay, yeah, they were booing. All right, so how did you bounce back the next game?
Yeah, I mean, I was really nervous going into that second game against Austin Peay, honestly. More nervous than my first game. Sort of mishit the first one as well, and I thought I got to make amends for it. And luckily, we had the return of drop on the next one, which Warren Burrell recovered. So as time got on, I got more comfortable at the level, and now I feel really comfortable and hopefully repaying the faith.
Dustin Colquitt is one of the best punters in SEC history, goes on to the NFL, has a long career. He's working with you each and every day. How has he helped you kind of get over that hump, not be nervous anymore, be your best?
Yeah, he's been superb. Like, honestly, couldn't have asked for a better person to be around me. Obviously, Tennessee person, played here and obviously did everything in the league. So for him to be able to help me, whether it's pocket punting, practicing, stuff like that, little tips that he's learnt, he's honestly such a nerd on punting that it really helps me. I'm more like casual, sort of go with the flow, but he's sort of instilled in me a few more tips and tricks which have helped me in the long run.
How did you get here in Knoxville? You're sitting in Australia. Did you go one day, you know what? I think I'm going to punt at Tennessee. How did it happen? Walk us through kind of the process.
Yeah, so I obviously played Australian football growing up since I was 4. Always kicked. And then I got a friend named Tory Taylor, who people are probably familiar with now. He was at Iowa for 4 seasons and just got drafted by the Chicago Bears. So I asked him, should I sort of give it a chance? And he said, you definitely should. So I kind of went down to Pro Kick Australia, spent about a year there, and then got Tennessee pretty quickly when I got there. But it was just a big process of learning how to punt with an American football as opposed to the bigger, rounder Australian football.
I played with guys that were from California, from Camden, New Jersey, Michigan, but never someone from Australia. How long did it take you to get over being homesick?
Honestly, a good 6 months. It was a rough time living in the dorms and stuff like that. I'm a little bit older than majority of true freshmen and stuff like that, so didn't have a car in Knoxville, so my surroundings are pretty small. But sort of once I branched out, met people, got a car, I've really loved my time in Knoxville and couldn't be happier.
What do you do when the offense is humming and they're not punting the football early in the season against NC State, against Kent State? Tennessee didn't have much trouble offensively, so didn't need to punt. What do? Do you sit there and kind of play games with your other buddies, or do you practice kicking on the sideline? What do you do to stay involved and not bored?
I mean, I've got to stay ready at some points. It gets late in the last quarter and I've got to go and I've got to be ready. So I put in a tongue-in-cheek sort of post and said, like, thanks, Nico, for allowing me to be pretty bored the first few weeks. And I think I had weeks 4 and 5, I think I had 15 punts all up. So I kind of jinxed myself there.
The secret, what's the secret to dropping those punts right there inside the 10-yard line? You had one against Vanderbilt. You were very important, instrumental on the road to Oklahoma. Do you have a secret? What's the secret for you to be able to do that?
There's a little bit of luck involved, but I won't share all my secrets. But I mean, it's sort of what I've grown up doing, precision sort of punting. That's what I do best. I think pinning teams deep, and I think it makes me really valuable to the team.
If you had the choice, would you punt it to Boo Carter, or would you decide to kick it out of bounds?
Judging based on yesterday, I'd probably try and kick it short and let it roll a little bit. Boo probably could have come up and caught a few and saved us a few yards, but I mean, he's electric. That kid's going to be something special for Tennessee for the next few years and definitely in the league eventually.
We see you punt with the left foot. We've seen you punt with the right foot. We haven't seen you throw the ball. Growing up, did you play quarterback, have any experience throwing the football?
Honestly, I didn't watch American football till I was probably 17, so I didn't really throw much. I played a lot of tennis growing up, so maybe I've got that power coming from that.
Any goals, individual goals? I know you want to help the team win, but your buddy, Tory Taylor, who was drafted by the Chicago Bears, won the Ray Guy Award his last year. Is that a goal of yours too?
Yeah, I think definitely. There's been some really good punters of late. They released the final 3 for the Ray Guy this year. 2 Australian boys were in that, so pretty proud of them. Got a few more years in Knoxville left for myself, so hopefully in the next 2 years I'll get one of them.
All right, so what goes on with you these next week or two? Are you pretty pumped up about the opportunity to rest, or are you good to go? It doesn't really matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure a few of those boys in the trenches are a bit more ready for the rest than I am. My job's a bit more particular and pretty chill, so I'll keep moving and stuff like that. Kind of got team meeting tomorrow to see how the next few weeks look like, but it's going to be nice to watch football Saturday with no stress and just let it all unfold, and then we'll really lock in on the opponent after that.
Absolutely. Dylan Sampson has been great. This defense has been great this year. Jackson Ross also has been great this year.
Jackson, we saw your little celebration yesterday. What came into that? I know you just said you played tennis, but I saw you give a little. What was that? What was that all about?
Yeah, you can thank Dustin Colquitt for that one. He sort of told me I've got to bring that out, and after pinning a few deep, I've sort of remained pretty calm, but that was my first little celebration. I got a few messages from back home saying what was that, but it's all fun and games.
Hey, do yourself a favor, okay? If you can take whatever Dustin tells you, but if his brother Britton tells you to do anything, completely ignore it because it'll get you in trouble, okay?
Okay.
Just making sure. Known those kids for a long time. All right, when we come back, it's not keys to victory, but we'll talk about what do you do in the off week. That's next in the locker room.
Hi, I'm Laura Ash, your West Knoxville State Farm agent. I've been here in the Renaissance for 17 years, and I'd love to help your young football players or anyone with their car insurance, home insurance, and life insurance. Give me a call at Laura Ash State Farm.
I see Marco's role in the community as somebody that people can look up to.
Marcos Garza is very thoughtful. He pays attention to the needs of the people in the community.
He's somebody that's very unselfish, somebody that's going to always be there.
Marcos Garza will work as hard as he can to get the best results for you.
In the future, no matter where I'm playing, no matter what the team I'm playing for, I'll always be on Garza's team.
The Garza Law Firm is Mama Zizi approved.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Hi, I'm David Ball, National Sales Manager here at Legend Fitness. Legend Fitness has been built on longevity and quality. Our racks are fully welded and has the least amount of bolts in the industry, made to stand up to the test of time. Because at Legend Fitness, we deliver quality and we want our customers to be Legend strong.
Hey, Tim Hoskins here from Covenant Sports Medicine. I'm the corporate manager of sports medicine, and I want to speak a little bit to our community partners and relationships that we have. We partner with FC Alliance Soccer, LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge, Johnson University, numerous high schools in and around the area, AAU basketball, Morristown Landing, travel hockey, volleyball, lacrosse, you name it, we're probably involved. What a lot of people don't know about Covenant Health is we're a nonprofit, community-based healthcare delivery system. We provide services in your community. If you ever need help with some event medicine or sporting event, scan the QR code at the bottom. Covenant Health, our mission is to improve lives through better health.
Community banking is about location and much more. It's about family. We reside in your community. We are a part of your community. At Commercial Bank, our commitment extends beyond the walls of our branches. It's displayed each day in the opportunities we provide, the money we give back, and the time we commit, all to help improve the lives of the people, families, and businesses that make our communities great. Commercial Bank, life made better.
Keys to Victory is brought to you by Garza Law.
And this week they are keys to a great 3 weeks off. Okay, so how do you, seriously, how do you handle the next week or so, knowing that there's 3 weeks? Is it the same kind of preparation as for a bowl game? You know, you take a little time off.
You take a little time off, but again, you got to prepare. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know if we're going to be at home. We don't know if we're going to be on the way away, but it's time to just get healthy. It's time to kind of have people come back, sit back and relax, especially this week. I think things will turn up a lot more next week.
I think the intensity level is different than it would be for a bowl game. You know, bowl game is you take a big old deep breath and it's a celebration. You know, you play in one game. Yeah. No, man, this is you lose, you go home.
So let me ask you this. Okay, sorry. So when the problem that has been in bowl games, I only got a minute left, but I just thought this is a key point we should have talked about 25 minutes ago. In bowl games, so many guys opt out. You know, I want to get ready for the draft. I want to stay healthy. Do we anticipate any of that?
Mark, you interrupted me to ask that question.
That was a silly interruption.
Opting out? This is playoffs.
Like you said, playoffs?
Oh, my God.
Who would opt out of the playoffs?
I'm just asking.
I wish somebody would opt out of the playoffs. I wish somebody would.
Hey, did we ever see the selfishness when you guys were playing that we see now with athletes? And that's the reason I legitimately asked that question.
They're getting
30 seconds.
They're getting paid a lot more.
So instead of judging, I try to put myself in their shoes. So, I mean, I don't know how I would act.
This man said opt out of the playoffs.
You watch when somebody does it, and then you guys are going to laugh about it, and they're going to go, you know, he actually asked the question, and so sitting out a game.
Okay.
Biggest loser ever. They do that.
Thank you.
Good luck trying to go to the NFL.
Not the TV show.
We'll see you next week. Did you call me biggest loser ever?
Yes.